there.
Hi.
Hello. It's October.
My God.
The leaves are changing, and we've had, because we're based in the Twin Cities here in Minneapolis, and the last 4 days we've had more rain than we normally get in the entirety of October. Month of October.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely. I just feel damp and not in a good way. Just going through there.
Last night, my now husband.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wedding was hysterical. I got a couple stories for you. Said, Kel, I think I've got some seasonal affective disorder. I need some sun. Like I'm bumming a little bit.
Well, there's like 4 hours yesterday, and then we were back to this grayness.
Yeah, he was like, he was not a happy camper, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Let's get you a lamp. So long time no see. I just got back. Two things that happened that were unexpected, and many humorous things occurred.
Oh yes,
because we went off. We got married, just the two of us, but I did get to meet a bunch of his family, extended family, because his parents are gone and whatnot. We had lunch with them the day before we got married, and then we went to the place. It was just the two of us. Came out, and our vehicle was covered in sports team, Tennessee sports team things. Including but not limited to.
They were going to make sure that you knew you were in Tennessee, that you were no longer in the Yankee North.
Yes, Tennessee tees on volunteers on our the sides, and those are still on there. They're metallic, but then they had stickers that we were able to peel them off later, but we kept them for a whole week, all the way back to Minnesota. Got hitched, Southern style. Y'all come back now, just married again. But the funniest was we have a Yukon, and they had cans of beer all over the top. Like they had to have gotten a ladder to put it all up there. And the photos of it were just hysterically funny. And the other thing was, I had never been to Nashville before. Have you been to Nashville?
Yes.
Wow. What I love Nashville. Like it's insane. I mean, it's so neat.
I was there with a non-drinker and two underage, and teenagers, but still, I got the gist of it.
Oh, at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday, the level of talent playing all up and down Broadway was like rock stars. I mean, it was crazy.
We went to the our last trip up from the South. We stopped at the Johnny Cash Museum, and once again, something that I think is going to lean more towards the commercial actually was fascinating.
Yeah.
And I realized I am not a musician. I cannot. I can't play. My brain can't remember the titles of songs or anything like that. But I do appreciate the stories behind music.
Yeah.
And that's what I have found at all these museums that I have gone to and things that I've done that are music related. My brain, maybe it's the historian in me, maybe it's the person that likes the past.
Yeah.
Finds it more fascinating than I thought. So if you're ever like in Cleveland, you got to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, for sure.
And honestly, I just thought it was going to be, here's a dress that was worn at the Grammys. There's just the lyrics and everything behind it, and that's just, and the same thing when I saw in Memphis. I'm walking around going, okay, there's music and there's booze, which is fun.
Yes, it is.
But there's also history.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and speaking of that, the Johnny Cash Museum and with the Patsy Cline one above it was so packed, we just said we'll do it another time. But Carl was walking around wearing a T-shirt that I bought him here it says "Boy Named Sue," right?
Yeah.
And so we walked into a bar, and these people were like, "Oh my God, we love that shirt. Did you get it here?" And he said, "No, I'm from Minnesota. My wife bought it for me at home." And they're like, "We're from Minnesota."
Oh, no, there are Minnesotans everywhere.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I swear to God.
Oh, my God.
There's anyone left in the state ever, because you can't go anywhere without running into Minnesotans.
Yeah. Well, the hilarious thing was they had left to drive down there the same day we did in a rainstorm. And they're from Eden Prairie. So we hung out with those four people for like an hour. It was hilarious. We had such a nice time. And what a hospitable place, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was.
Super cool. So, hey, before we get into the regular material this week, you started telling me, and I said, wait, because I really want to hear this. You were reading an article.
Yesterday's
Up-to-date me.
Yesterday's Star Tribune, and when I got to the office, I forgot to get it and forward it over. I believe it was in the variety section. The story was about a local lawyer that's working on neuro law.
Neuro law.
And what that means is they're wondering, like, I mean, for example, we now know, like, someone with a brain tumor pressing on the wrong spot might, do things that you normally wouldn't do. Okay. Or the fact that human brains really aren't done baking until they're like 25, 26. But the law hasn't kept up with some of these things, how people are reacting. And one of the things they're talking about is how things, they're looking into how your brain works, how it's wired, all this sort of stuff, how that affects law. But there was like a one-off in there that we've talked about before, sex robots.
Okay.
So how does the law, I mean, how does your brain think? I mean, what if there's a brothel and you go to have sex with a robot? Your brain thinks you're having sex with someone and you're paying for it, but it's not human. So what's the intent? And how does the law keep up with that? And one thing that we had talked about also in this, and this is all just things that people are figuring out,
right,
was what if the brothel has sex robots that are underage? Does that count? Because the intent, and you're going through there, because a lot of times laws are about intent.
Yep.
And it was just, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, we talked about this. And it was the Star Tribune. Today is the 4th. So I believe it was October 3rd. I'm sure if you go to the Star Tribune site, hit, Google neuro law, you're going to find this article. And I'm fascinated that he's like one of the only people, working on this, and he's right here in the Twin Cities.
That's wild.
And I was fascinated because we had talked about it, like, that's really creepy. I mean, there are laws now that say that if you movies that where you pretend you're underage are a problem. So at this point, I would assume that that a brothel with a doll that was underage, and it is, but the brain, what they're learning about the brain and going forward, and it was just, like I said, there was all this other stuff going in the article, but they had like a short paragraph on sex robots, and I'm like, does everything come back to sex robots on the Great Northern Textcast? Because it does seem to. You're glancing at your notes.
I have,
and I'm just so. I mean, it's not just the two of us grabbing something from from a random website. It's actually, people are thinking about this in real law stuff.
In the field that I work in professionally, right now, it's technology. And, there's this whole joke around, and this applies not just to the industries that we serve, but really everybody. The robots are coming, right? Well, they really are. I mean, because we can't go a single week without finding something. And so I'm going to segue to this week's sex robot story for you, where it says, this is an Italian sex robot brothel got shut down. And this one is in Italy, and it was allegedly over infringements of Italian property law. But the owner says, nope, we're going to stay closed until we get these bureaucratic details resolved. But there was one in Spain that had to move because the lease was canceled by the owner. The owner didn't want it there. And then, but this is a company that owns several of these. Listen to where they have them: Moscow, and then they've got them in Spain, Italy, and across. I mean, this is becoming really a thing. And just in case maybe you're new to the Sexcast or something like that, the rates, this franchise is called Lumidolls, and it's $88 for half hour and $110 US per hour to rent a room with the sex dolls. I
mean, honestly, you can. I mean, Tara was just looking at sex dolls from a couple of companies that we get that are not these $15,000 dolls. But are probably anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000. I mean, by the time you have 10 visits to the sex doll brothel, you could have your sex doll. Yeah. But then again, you could probably have different sex dolls. So you got to decide.
Well,
but I still think it just. I think there were laws against masturbation in public in most places, and this is pretty much masturbation because there's not another human there. It's a doll. It's a toy.
Yep.
And I don't know what the laws are in places, and this is what this one lawyer's trying to figure out. What are the laws against paying to go someplace else to masturbate? But honestly, you go rent a hotel room anywhere and you bring a toy. But now you're paying someone else. It's so convoluted.
It is. And kind of going back to what you were talking about with NeuroLaw, they have a spokesperson for Lumidolls talking about each of the doll has a different profile describing their attributes, from Lily's angelic face to Katie's penetrating gaze. They're made of thermoplastic elastomer, which is a polymer renowned for softness. The website
TPE, we sell toys that are made out of TPE. They're not latex. They're not the vinyl that have that off-gassing smell. But they're not it's not as expensive as silicone.
Oh,
it's stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good product.
So they say the dolls are properly disinfected with special antibacterial soaps before and after each service. Nonetheless, users are urged to use a condom, but it doesn't say forced. Which, I'm sorry, yuck.
Yeah, because the general your general cervix and vagina and all that is fairly self-cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is not going to be self-cleaning. I don't see anyone figuring that one out yet.
Well, and here's what I want to know. Like, you know how I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a freak about this. I have different types of implements in my kitchen to clean pans and, whatever. What the hell do you use to clean out a prosthetic vagina and that's going to get all the different
next time I wander down the cleaning aisle at Target, I am going to giggle because I'm thinking, is it one of those ones with the little, like the little sponge start? It looks like a little sponge sun sponge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bottle brush, probably too rough.
Oh yeah. I know. See, there's so much to think about. It's just so that was for Megan because she's afraid of these things. So there we go. So since it's October and you mentioned it at the start, tell me about the pumpkin glitter butts.
Okay, so once again, the joys of the internet is that Cosmo article on the fact that people are painting their bottoms to look like pumpkins and then adding glitter to them and then having it's an October thing, pumpkin butts. Now, mind you, I had a friend eons ago that worked in childcare, and she would ask all the parents' permission, but they would use the child-safe tempera paints and make little pumpkin butts out of the infant butts.
Oh my God.
It was so adorable. And mind you, I have in fact painted my butt yellow, pressed it against a beat up camper because there was ass headquarters stuff like that. So I'm not
okay.
For the 40 people out there that know what I'm talking about, I'm not. There were a bunch of us that involved painting butts and putting our butt prints on an old trailer.
Fun?
Oh God, it was hilarious.
How did it look when finished?
Well, the thing is, the beautiful trailer was painted blue, and it had ass headquarters already painted on it. And then we decided there needed to be ass prints, and we had jackets and hats. You
guys had gear too?
We had gear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, I have access to it. At least we used to have stuff like that. And I'm like, like blue FBI jackets, say ass on the back, and then ass head. It's just, if there's a couple of cocktails around, like 20 creative people and actors sitting around a campfire someplace on a Saturday night, the following Friday, there tends to be jackets and ass prints, and someone else had access to someplace to make hats. It's all. Oh, God. This has to be 25 years ago now. That's 20 years, something like that.
That's fantastic.
We made up our own badges, and God, it was hilarious. I don't know. We're just insane
lanyards,
people.
The whole 9 yards. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But so I'm not so really pumpkin butt, and I'm just thinking. I'm okay with the painting of the butts, but once again, it's glitter where I don't particularly want glitter.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing that's what caught my eye. Body painting, awesome. Butts lend themselves to pumpkins.
Yep.
But then again, you've got glitter. just near places. So I'm all for the painting of the pumpkin butts.
Okay.
I would just hold off on the glitter.
Well, let's just put it out there that somebody needs to invent orifice-friendly glitter.
That would be excellent. Because honestly, if it was orifice-friendly glitter, it would also be environmentally friendly glitter.
Okay.
Because you end up with all these little pieces of stuff that gets through water systems, gets into the oceans, gets into fish, gets into all these critters because it's too damn small. Sort of like the little plastic mini beads. So you really do need like organic glitter so that we can safely have glitter pumpkin asses.
Yes, and I think it should melt at a certain Okay, well, some genius get on that for us because we would like to have some. Loving this. So Angus Graham, what a great name, Grandpa Angus, right? Was buying a birthday gift for his 3-year-old granddaughter, and he thought this thing called Cock in a Box was a pop-up rabbit. So he ordered it and sent it to his granddaughter, who opened it, and the mom was videotaping, and it's a rabbit vibe, but he didn't know what that was. And the mother just about peed her pants and had to wait till the kid went to bed to
just make it go away.
Right. And the kid, of course, loved it. And she had to say, well, it's lost. The dad is so embarrassed. So whatever. Mom still thinks it's funny and is saving it. She's going to bring it out on the kid's 18th birthday.
This is from your grandpapa. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Poor Grandpa Angus.
Oh,
you know that's happened. You know that has happened.
Yeah, I mean, the rabbit, and I people have listened to the show before that personally I try not to sell things in the store that look too toy-like. I think it's creepy, but that's me. My stores, I get to make that call.
Yep.
But the rabbit vibe, I mean, everybody makes it. It was this thing. It's going through there. Google it, you can look it up and all that sort of stuff. That's the one thing. It's never looked too much like a toy. Vibrate, and I just giggle because I'm just like, there are a lot of things are named. You're like, there's no doubt that is something for sex, but some things you're like, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I totally get your reasoning behind the creep factor of that, and I wouldn't like something that looked too toy like. Either.
Yeah. I mean, there was anal beads that had sort of like a little happy like caterpillar face on them, and then there's vibrating rubber duckies. Which, well, first of all, I think there's some of them are decorated too much because if you've got gems and marabou fur on something, I don't want it where things could be moist anyway. There were just other things that I just went, oh no. But that's just, like I said, it's my stores, my call. Other folks, want to do that. That's fine.
Yeah, totally get it. I'm going to start out by preface this by saying I don't get it.
Okay.
And we're going to put the link up on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page. It's already been delivered to Miss Megan. People are going to have to figure this out and possibly message us and explain it back to me. So there's all these crazy sex positions that are coming out with funny names, and we whenever we run across a new one, we try to bring it up. We've talked about the snail, the butter churner, blah blah. This one is called the spider monkey, and there is an NSFW, not safe for work, site called sexpositions.club, and I think that they have visuals on this. But
I would hope so, because I have always had a difficult time sometimes. I mean, could you put together an IKEA thing without even, without pictures?
No.
But
okay, so this position.
Okay, I'm going to shut my eyes again. I'm going to try and visualize.
I really need you to focus here. The bloke is standing up with his back to the woman.
Okay.
Who's doing a headstand behind him. The legs of the female partner are bent and the knees spread on their sides. You have to be a yoga master to do this. And then he picks her up by her feet, helping her to get up to his penis, which is on the other side of him, So I don't get it. I cannot figure it out.
His back's to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm thinking there's got to be some sort of weird ass. Something got translated wrong.
I think so.
This came from a different site.
I think so.
That was originally not in English.
Yeah,
there's no. There's that's the only
So
way.
if anybody is at home and knows how to
Do the spider monkey?
well or clean their browser out and wants to look up sexpositions.club, would you please help us out with this?
Yeah.
And you can message us a picture if you have one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at it, but I'm just
Okay. So we already talked about the sex robot, so let's talk about the bionic penis. We did this story. I'm pretty sure it was this has come up more than once on the show. But there was a guy, we talked about him. He's in Scotland. His name is Mohammed Abad, and he had an accident when he was a child.
Oh, that's right.
And his penis got ripped off. It was really kind of awful. He fell onto a road and got dragged 600 yards by a car. Terrible accident. I'm so glad he's even alive. But he made headlines after doctors designed him a bionic and installed a bionic penis. And it says it was at a cost of $93,000 US, which seems cheap to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it does.
For something like this. But so apparently he's finally had sex with it. And it was 4 years, which tells me that he took some time to find somebody versus, just going and giving it a go, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it probably had to be healing, and probably you got to learn how to use it, and then meet someone.
Yeah,
and then may not be able to deal with it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So he said that it works really great. It inflates or
becomes erect.
Yes.
Turgid.
Thank you.
There's a good word.
To
I like
8
turgid.
inches. It's 5.5 when flaccid, and it's button operated. And so he had sex with he's 44. With a 37-year-old woman that he met. And he chatted with her and, literally made it into, kind of a real situation versus just a sex encounter.
Because I'm pretty sure he could have just got out there and said, who wants to do this? And people would have lined up.
Oh, for sure. No question. And she talks about it. I love some of her quotes. Her name is Charlotte. She said, "It was a work of art. The doctor had taken the skin from one of his arms and made a tube-like shape. It had an opening that could still urinate and ejaculate. And they created a scar line to look like a tip." She said, it was a piece of artwork. It didn't look like a normal penis, but you knew it was one. It looked like a designer one. And, they said that they did a very good job designing it. He was able to have sex for 2 hours before ejaculating, which occurred as normal. And her last quote was, "He'll never need Viagra. At 90, he will still be able to get rock hard." And she also notes, "It didn't squeak or make any noises. It was brilliant."
I have to admit, I wouldn't have thought about that. I mean, what would the mechanics, sound like in that?
Yeah.
But that's really nice. Because there might be a person that, is injured and doesn't need to be, replaced but everyone deserves to have the body that makes them feel whole.
Yeah. Whatever that
might be, it's going through there. And it's different things for different people, but that's really nice because there are a lot, especially with the, endless wars going on, in the world today. A lot of damage.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's an amazing piece of technology, and I wish him well because I can't imagine what his life's been like up to that point. What a horrible thing to have.
Well, it's probably why he's really good at talking to folks.
Probably. Yeah. Well, good luck to him. Okay, this is just in incredibly poor taste, but it's worth mention.
Okay.
A typical couples fight. It's a 24-year-old man, and his pregnant girlfriend got in a fight. She went out with her friends, and so he took and set a box of sex toys on a flame on the porch of her apartment. And he is now facing serious charges and 2.5 years in jail and lost.
I don't care what you set on fire. You can't just bring a box of stuff and set it on fire. And then, the toxic fumes from that. I'm just saying, because, this stuff is, it's not like, and I say that just because these are human made items.
Yep.
They're made out of, you don't go burning silicone or TPE or latex or rubber, stuff like that. You just don't. Or, you could have a box of shower curtains or a box of children's toys. You just, no.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid and petty.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he got in a boatload of trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about Sir Paul McCartney's interview with GQ?
No, I know. Oh no, it was Ringo Starr that was just interviewed by Dan Rather. Okay, I'm getting. There's the two Beatles left.
Yep. Well, he did say, there was a group masturbation session in the past, and I was really grossed out when I read the first line, which says, Sir Paul McCartney has revealed he had a group masturbation session with John Lennon in their Beatles heyday. And I'm just thinking,
why would this? Who cares?
Well, but ew. I mean, I didn't want to know that. No. Actually, I want to unknow that. But if you read it,
but so maybe by sharing with others, you can just sort of send it out there in the world.
Yeah, because I want everybody else to be as bothered by this as I am. I mean, the next time I hear Norwegian Wood, I'm gonna flip out.
No, I understand when people talk about their sex lives so that other people don't feel shame.
Yeah.
But somehow I don't think that this qualifies under that. This seems more, I am 70-something years old right now. Is there anything left I can say to make people go, what?
Yeah.
More so than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But did you see it's out there on the internet. If you haven't seen it, it's so adorable. James Corden, the guy that does the carpool karaoke. Sir Paul does a pop-up concert in England in the pub. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have seen that where they have him in there and they do it a couple different times
with
and they just
jukebox?
and they just pop and they open up a curtain and then suddenly and everyone's just like, because he was in town and they actually went back to their hometown and did all this and popped up there. And I mean, maybe it's just trying really hard to just sort of fit into 2018, but
so cute.
I sell sex toys for a living. I have explained to the world that I still occasionally, because of urinary issues, pee in my pants. Mm-hmm. Okay, there was stuff out there, but I do have a level of TMI, and that
you think that's it.
But it might be on this particular case because I'm like, it doesn't serve any purpose. I mean, I tell folks when I'm going to go get the boob squished because I'm hoping that it will nudge another woman into going in and get her checked. And then there's always one guy that says, by the way, you also need to check your testicles. You want people to be healthy and stuff like that. I can't understand why two guys mutually masturbating in a circle jerk in their late teens or early 20s, what the context is of that.
I can tell you actually.
Oh, okay.
He says of the strange moment at John's house, instead of just getting roaring drunk and partying, we were all just in these chairs and the lights were out and somebody started masturbating, so we all did. That sounds like such a guy being a dumbass guy thing. Well, let's do this. Because, guys have a tendency to do that sort of thing.
At one point was there, at least at this point, nobody said, here, hold my beer, because everyone was busy.
Right. The other thing is, Paul did say orgies were not his thing, but he did have a menage a trois with 2 prostitutes in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And that was lovely. But that was the closest he says that he ever came to an orgy. Moving on. Apparently there was a French study that says basically if the faster talkers that men are, the better lovers they are. They're trying to draw a correlation, and what they're saying is they took part in this research and they had to seduce potential people, and they said faster speech tempo may constitute an honest cue of quality because it requires less cognitive effort and time to produce speech. And liars pause frequently, speak slowly, and make many mistakes. Whereas, these guys are more likely to be honest and better in bed. Now, listen to this stuff.
Okay.
Younger women with more breathy or higher pitched voices are seen as more attractive by men, but more promiscuous by other women.
I don't know. That seems to be going right down the stereotype land there. Stuff like that.
I don't know. So we haven't had a Meghan and Harry story in a little while. And
they obviously are still popular because the amount of websites that use them as clickbait.
Yeah.
It just does not seem to be slowing down.
Yeah, and they're cute. They're
they're highly, highly adorable. And if they decide to have children, the adorable quotient is going to go through the roof.
Yeah, and the speculation is that they will pretty quick.
Yeah,
because they both are interested in doing.
Yeah, they're in the mid-30s, so yeah.
And I hope they do because it's going to be kind of crazy. But there's another story, and I think it would be an incredibly strange transition and tough and everything else to move into that lifestyle, as enviable as it may seem superficially.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is that it's a little bit easier because they're used to the spotlight. She's used to the spotlight.
That's true.
I mean, she knows that. She knows that part.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. But there are all these crazy rules. And here's one. If you being so willing to share your incontinence, occasional incontinence issues, if she has to go to the bathroom, so if you're at a dinner, okay, you can't announce that you're going to the bathroom. There's this whole rule.
Oh, I know. People have said that before. Just you have to excuse yourself for a few moments, or I don't know. Is there a code word? But everybody knows it anyway. They know where you're going.
They just have to say "excuse me," and that they are strictly forbidden from announcing their intentions. Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. They can't say that, and it goes on. The story is kind of funny, but it talks about the coding of how you're supposed to put your utensils if you are finished or not finished, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, that would get so tedious. Could you imagine?
Well, I do know the utensil things. It's usually tines down and knife and fork next to each other or slightly crossed on your plate shows that you're done.
And in this case, crossed means they're not done.
Done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
yeah, it's going through these.
Utensil Talk by Colleen and Kelly. Bizarre Bridezilla demands. Can I just say I didn't have any?
I have to admit, this is, speaking of clickbait, never been a bride. Not, I mean, I have to admit, I thought about the party part of it, but I've never thought about the wedding part of it. You know, I mean, that part. So I know that it's not really particularly for me, but I have to admit, it is one clickbait that I sometimes will go for when I can't sleep, because I'm just like, how obnoxious can people get?
Yeah.
I mean, the matching hair color, or I don't know. That's the least of things sometimes,
There's a Facebook thing dedicated to this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So one had a bride canceling the bachelor party because she didn't want him to meet other girls. Another one said that this woman demanded that the groomsmen come with the girls on the hen weekend and not have their own bachelor party. That was another one. And then another one said, well, she made the groom replace his brother as best man with a rich friend of his because she wanted to set him up with the maid of honor.
Well, I think you can do that. Sans that just going through there.
Yeah.
I just, especially when folks, I mean, you guys went off and got married. You're not first weddings. You knew exactly what you wanted and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I believe if someone asks you to be in your wedding, you buy the dress, you wear it, you show up. But you get a gift. But when you start having like a dozen showers, and then they want to have, and then the bride says, by the way, we're going to Vegas for this. I mean, you should not have to take out a loan to be in your friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Going through there. It should not take over your life.
Right.
You're assisting the bride. You are not their freaking slave.
Yes.
And not only have been involved in a crap ton of my children's births, I've been involved in a crap ton of weddings years ago. And all the different roles. And I didn't, mind any of them.
Yeah.
But I just say, I can't say any of them were bridezillas. So it was spectacular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of little Zen-like events because I just didn't worry about anything. And like I made the appointment for hair and makeup in the car the Thursday before the Monday that we got married and ended up with a terrific person.
Yeah.
When we were on Friday getting our marriage license and all that kind of stuff, we stopped into what appeared to be, looked like they might have floral, to get a bouquet and order a boutonniere for, Monday. And she's like, no, I don't do live here. I can do silk. And I'm like, no. And she's like, you know where you should go? And she sent us to, you're going to laugh because I did, a Kroger grocery store. And I'm like, are you serious? And another customer that was in the shop at the time said, no, seriously, they have an awesome floral department. So I went and I just wanted a little tiny handheld thing. And ordered it, and everything that she's like, well, what do you want? And everything that I asked for wasn't in season. So I'm like, well, I like that flower over there and put some white. I don't care. Just make it pretty and tiny, right? Well, my bouquet was huge for, it was still a little handheld, but it was darn big, gorgeous. The boutonniere was gorgeous. $39. Yeah. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, two cocktails are practically that nowadays.
Yeah,
and I know with tip and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun just to go with it.
Oh, I love. Yeah, you're just Googling in the car on the way down.
Yeah.
Local florist, stuff like that. Just figure it out.
It was
going
so
through
nice.
there.
It was so. I loved it, and I don't have a single regret. My sister was niggling at me the entire time. Like I sent a funny picture while I was getting my hair done because I had these big curls, and I sent this shot, and she's like, "You look terrified. Don't you wish I was there?" And I thought, no. Because I would be more stressed if you were.
Yeah,
does that make me terrible?
No. It's just you've been there, done that, and the other ones, and just that's I really. I mean, okay, I don't not care what other people think, but it's a different level. I certainly don't want people to think. I mean, I don't want to be an ass and not have a reason for it.
Yeah,
that's where I am. It's just something like that. Just going,
yeah. No, I do not like that kind of attention. It's not my thing. Okay. We've had some really good blenders lately. Like the guy sending his mom a picture that accidentally shows
the bondage stuff in the back.
And then there's the accidental text to the wrong, all that kind of stuff. This is a good one. A dad accidentally posted his X-rated Google search on his daughter's Facebook. So, like, he had copied the cat, a website, and he was trying to copy something else, and he didn't look at it.
Yeah,
and it was what was it? Classic vintage porn UK was the search. So it appeared next to her father's name on her wall.
I mean, honestly, my search would be hilarious because I'll be looking for things for work or this or that or for the show or different things. And so the search history in between is just hilarious. When occasionally I go, what have I looked for lately? Anyway, a lot of it is, IMDb, when I'm like see an actor and I can't, or actress and I can't figure out who it is. I'm like, oh, is that person? Like, yeah, because I'll be watching, and then I'll be, searching, things for the show, and so you're figuring out what's going on there, and then there'll be a toy for the office, or I'll be curious what the website. It's going really well. Thank you everyone. I'll be like, well, someone bought this, and so I'll be looking it up, and I'll be comparing prices at other places.
Yeah,
And then in between that is like college searches for my kid, or the FAFSA because I'm filling that out. I mean, it's just. The gamut of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine.
The fact that some sort of sex toy could pop up in the middle of IMDb and college searches, it would be completely ordinary for
you. Yeah.
For me.
No, I know.
But probably not. Probably only a few hundred people in the U.S. could probably say that without it being embarrassing.
Yeah. And if the NSA is watching you, they'll be like, wow, she's interesting. So this is kind of funny. This is a strange, unintended side effect. It's an an accidental decline in teen pregnancy due to the digitization of society. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah. Basically, a European it would be kind of like an advisory service for pregnant people, maybe that helps counsel them if they want to put it up for adoption or, whatever, said that they did a survey of more than 1,000 teenagers, and their relationships are increasingly taking place online. And it fits, more into their lifestyle because they hang out in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not spending as much time together because they're considering digital, contact the same as, real life human contact. Yeah. And there's more, and once again, there's also just more information out there. They know what's going on. Now, mind you, that it doesn't mean there may not be sexting and other things going on.
Yeah.
It just means that the physical contact that could end in pregnancy is less.
Yeah.
Is going through there.
Yeah. And apparently the teenagers there in Europe are losing their virginity later, with the average age coming up to 17. So I thought that was kind of interesting too.
Oh yeah, I mean, marriage is getting later, children is getting later. People are paying just more attention to, I think, too, to, do I really want this?
Yeah,
it's going through there. It's like, okay, and I think it's probably less of a rebellion. I mean, because especially in Europe, you had sex, and we care about that. Why?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not nearly as rebellious to have sex at a younger age anymore. You're not showing anyone. You're not proving anything.
Yeah.
You can wait until it's something that you really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I would hope so. I'm going to think the best of that.
Yeah. So this is just weird. This next one.
I like weird.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of the weird.
So Christina Roth sold a $45 million tech consulting firm. So she had a little cash on hand.
I wonder if she could loan me like $3.6 million so I can buy this this castle on the St. Croix. There's this gorgeous. Sorry, just whenever I think about that much money, she doesn't need $3.6 million. I would love to buy this house. It's on the St. Croix River that hasn't been on the market for 6 years. Sorry, it popped into my head.
It's for sale.
It's for sale right now. It's on 5 acres. It has a guest house. It's all stone. Oh my God! Someone posted it on my friends, and we're all like, "Oh!" I'm like, I could throw in $5, but okay, sorry. I don't know. Maybe because it was a 6 in there. I don't know. I thought of it. My brain just had a detour.
It's okay. $45 million. I mean, I'd like to get to know her.
Yeah.
But so what she did is she bought an island, and it used to be known as Fjarðskar, and it's been renamed because she owns it. It's called Super She Island. And it started out, the idea, she had a blog intended to help women discover the best versions of themselves or become super she's. But now she's got this actual island. So she invited this reporter to come and write an article about it. And she spent a week, and it opened in July. It cost $4,675 for a week-long stay. It's open to those who meet a strict set of membership criteria. It's an 8.4-acre, carefully programmed oasis of female empowerment. No men, no sugar, no booze. They have $2,000 toilets that incinerate poop, something called Shinrin Yoku forest bathing. Just let that one sit there for a second.
That's just wandering into the forest and being, if I'm not mistaken. We've talked about the going in and bathe, the forest bathing.
Yep,
I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I mean, I like me some forest, but
I don't need to be naked out there.
I got plenty of forest. Oh, you don't even have to be naked. You just sort of being bathed in the sounds and the aromas of the forest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they're big weird woods and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So, apparently, that there's an article, and we're going to post a link to it. I honestly have not kept up with this because the whole thing just grossed me out. And I hate to say it, I just didn't care, although it changed how I feel about the artwork of this person forever. Woody Allen. Mm-hmm. Sunyi Previn has given an interview. And can you just remind me superficially, he was accused of molesting her. She was an adopted daughter of Mia Farrow, who used to be his wife. He was accused of molesting her, but didn't they end up together?
They're still together.
They're still together. Okay.
Yeah, they're married. They have been for quite a number of years.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah, it creeps me out. It does change my my view of his art.
Yeah.
And that won't happen to everyone. It has a lot to do with, are they still doing things? Have people said what I did was wrong? Or although it may have been prevalent in the past, I realize it was wrong and I'm going forward. Have they apologized to people? This just sort of, creeps, it just a little weird. I mean, there's certain social constructs. And the hitting on your partner's adopted daughter is,
unsavory.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to read what she has to say, you can check it out. I mean, apparently a lot of division in the family among her siblings. Yeah.
I think they've been together for quite a number of years now.
It's not.
It's not. Which I don't think that changes the creepiness of it.
No. No. So this makes me laugh, but I don't think it achieved the desired result. A guy who's a first-year student at the University of Calgary met a chick in a bar named Nicole, and he didn't get her number and really wanted to ask her out on a date. So he did something which completely cracks me up. He went to the school directory and emailed every Nicole or version of Nicole, including but not limited to Nikki's, and said, basically, I'm the guy who took you and your friend home last night. If you are the one and just don't want to talk to me, that's all right as well. So they all thought it was so funny. They started a Nicole from last night group, and they're all getting together, but it doesn't sound.
I think I saw this. It doesn't sound like the person found it, but the Nicoles are meeting.
Right.
And I'm just like,
right. So,
I'm honestly, depending on the age, it's probably a fairly large group. I mean,
46.
Yeah, there's not there would not be a very large Colleen group.
No,
I just do not run across a lot of Colleens.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, it doesn't give the text of the letter, but it sounds polite. And if I got something like that, I wouldn't be pissy.
No. I mean, I missed my opportunity. I'm just throwing this out there in the universe. Contact me if you wish. Don't contact me. And then he left it.
Yeah.
That's it. Then he left it.
Yep.
And I think, humans could learn from that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So did I miss anything while I was gone?
Not, we've been getting stuff in, sport sheets, Swiss Navy in the office. I went through a massive fall cleaning here. It was a lot of fun.
Ooh.
With the big fat throw it away. I got the best 1-star review the other day. And I say this because stuff like this drives me insane.
Okay.
Someone said, 1 star. It says, store is dump, employee rude. And I'm like, okay. So I look at that for a moment, and there are things I want to say, but
right.
I look at it for a moment and I go, and so I respond. And I'm just hoping that someone will respond back. I said, I'm sorry that you had, a bad experience. If you would like to email us at customerservice@fantasygifts.com for more detail, that would be lovely. Thank you. I'm not sure what I can do about the dump part, as decor is subjective, but I'd like to hear more about the employee issue. And I've asked the employees, I said, anyone have a cranky customer in the past few days?
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is that 2 things happened here. It looks like the person is male.
Okay.
So either A, they didn't like that they got ID'd, and which is just, after almost 40 years, I'm still fascinated that someone doesn't understand that I have to ID someone coming into a store where I sell adult items. I can't help that. Or they don't like our return policy. but I'm sorry, I'm not taking back your, used cum soaked item.
Right.
It's just not happening. So I don't know what the thing is, but when I see stuff like that, and I think when other people see stuff like that, I mean, I've got pictures of the store on all of my social media.
Yeah.
It's an adorable store.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but I look at that and I'm like, oh, where do I'm like, oh, I'm going to be polite. I took sometimes it takes me longer. This only took me about 15 minutes to get all of the snark out of my voice. But I am curious. I mean, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, folks, if you're going to leave a response, good or bad, I'd like to know why.
Yeah.
Just going through there. But I just went, store is a dump. Place it. I'm like, what does that mean? So that was sort of fun yesterday. I had a little, I just was looking at that, was going through there. It's surrounded by a crap ton of 5-star reviews, so I don't worry about that. Just going through there. But I go, what does that mean? I don't, it's going through there. I mean, I'm noticing a lot more people are much more comfortable reviewing, being comfortable with fantasy gifts, doing that, which I think is awesome. Mm-hmm. Because we work really hard. I'm never going to, shooting for perfection is not going to happen. I can't make everybody happy. I try to be reasonable, but that sort of made me giggle yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, going through there. But we're going to be at Crypticon coming up. It's the weekend before for Halloween, and so there's information on some of our sites, so you can go to the CrypticonMinneapolis.com site and see what's going on.
Cool.
We've got I've got the blog up and running. I'm still working on to be doing the newsletter thing. I've lost track. There's so many things going on, but I've just been really happy with the website, and we're just sort of plugging along.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, congratulations again, you married person.
Thank you. And more Great Northern Sex Cast coming back at you next week. Check out Great Northern Sex Cast. Great Northern Sex Cast on Facebook.